welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a follow-up on this whole Retals situation. And also, before I begin, I want to make some disclaimers for my own peace of mind. I want to acknowledge that this video, and actually the ones that I previously posted to, are all premature. Since we don't have all the information out there to still make a decision or still know exactly what happened, I'm prematurely making assumptions and talking about the whole spectacle that has happened. I also don't want to mislead people to a certain narrative, because so far, honestly, most of the narrative that I've seen has been favoring Retals. He's been coming off as the victim in this whole thing, and actually he has garnered a lot of sympathy from this situation. But yeah, I don't want to mislead people and say that, Arsenal is like, such a bad person and he did this, they all backstab him. Because I also acknowledge that Retals, even though he's not a bad person, he's also not this super quiet guy that's a saint that is super easygoing. No. He has his own personality, which is strong, like Arsenal. And people with strong personalities tend to butt with each other. Especially if you give the context of like their teammates in a world championship and they didn't win, and they've been struggling with winning a championship and a LAN. You have to take all of that into account, you know what I mean? This is symbolical as fuck, dude. Space station no more. Let me just move this real quick. That was a good way to start the video. Okay, so let's skip ahead into the part that he starts talking about the situation. Also, one thing you need to know is that obviously Arsenal was sick. I don't know how much that plays into it, but I do know this. If you're sick with food poisoning, if you're sick and you're already having a tough time with your health, you're more propense to get triggered or be less tolerant, for lack of a better word. And when you're sick, dude, and you're already feeling like shit, you don't wanna take on more shit. You don't wanna deal with shit. Everything else seems like almost irrelevant to what you're going through, to the sickness that you're going at the moment. You're like, fuck you, bro. I'm not gonna deal with your shit. I'm already sick. Mind you, I acknowledge that I'm assuming this, okay? But logically, for me, it would play a part in it that he was feeling sick and wasn't feeling well.
I'm going to clear up one of the rumors now. No, I did not know before the V1 series. I found out while the tournament was still going on, but not my tournament. We were already knocked out. But yes, I found out before the tournament ended. That was a common misconception. It was shitty, but not that shitty. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, this whole thing where he said it was shitty, it was because that Arsenal, if I'm not mistaken, okay, this is what I heard. Arsenal didn't directly tell him, or Daniel. None of his teammates directly told him that he was going to get dropped. He had to hear it from another player because Arsenal mentioned something to another player. To anyone, that would probably upset anyone, you know, in his situation.
Play V1, and I had kind of figured something was going on. You'll see the comm video. I won't go too in depth, but our comm sucked. Super quiet. I felt like I played really well. I had that nice little goal, that little air dribble flip reset bump thingy.
And now Retals, he wants more of version 1. Boost to work with.
Oh, this clip, dude. This clip. Look. Arsenal doesn't give a fuck. This clip, dude, is very indicative of the vibe that was going on with SSG. And it's a little bit indicative that Daniel, like, he wanted to bump both of them. And like, dude, come on, we're still a team, right? But Retals and Arsenal, especially Arsenal, was having none of it. By this point, he's clearly upset. And by this point, clearly whatever happened had already happened. After this, is something really relevant, too.
What can you do? And, doesn't matter how much you believe in a team when the team doesn't believe in you. So
there you go. That part I thought was really relevant for this video, because this video doesn't really goes into detail yet to exactly what happened. But this little lines.
Doesn't matter how much you believe in a team when the team doesn't believe in you. So
doesn't matter how much you believe in a team when the team doesn't believe in you. This little line. I was very skeptical when I heard this. Okay, because this line kind of brushes off whatever accountability he had in the altercation that he had with Arsenal. Now, I'm not saying that Retals is consciously manipulating his audience to look like a victim. What I would say more is that from his perspective, it seemed that way. But in a way, it is a little bit of a manipulative statement. Because you're basically saying, hey man, I believe in my team. It was them that didn't believe in me. So it does have a victim narrative to it. Now again, I'm not saying he's super purposely doing this to brush off his accountability. Maybe he will take accountability of what happened or whatever did happen because they haven't explained yet. But the thing with Arsenal. But this statement alone is very one-sided and you should be wary of it. To fight, you need two people, okay? Whoever's right is wrong in the argument, yeah, that could be discussed. But the fact of the matter is, it takes two to fight. Both people did something for the argument to happen. Both are accountable in a way, even if someone is more to blame than the other. And this is the part that we still don't know. What exactly happened between both of them that led to this? I
already got emotional in the SSG video, but it's been a ride. This season was full of ups and downs, from playing, I think, the worst Rocket League I've ever played online with SIP in the fall, to him, one of my best friends, leaving the team, to having to make a roster change for the first time in a year and a half, to picking up a young gun and watching him grow, and it was good. I wouldn't have changed anything that happened up till this series.
I thought that was very important. He said he wouldn't change anything that happened up to this series, which to me it kind of implies that for the most part everything was fine until something happened. It's been such a wild ride, and you really have to take into context that even if they are friends, or even if they're not friends or teammates/friends, whatever, however you want to label it, friendly to each other. This is all based on the context of our RLCS World Championship and an esports team. That context alone changes everything. It makes everything more volatile. It makes everything more passionate. This is not a simple falling out like with your friend over some dumb shit. This is all intertwined with the context of RLCS, which is super important. Which this context of RLCS is even more important in a way that the relationship, it surpasses it because it's a bigger stage. It's the bigger picture. You know what I mean? That takes precedent, I would say, over the whole beef, the whole personal beef. But it really plays into it. You know what I mean?
I had a lot of fun doing everything. Nothing but love to Dan. And yeah.
Oof.
I have a few things loaded up for next season. Nothing I'm willing to tell you guys yet. We're just gonna see how it goes. I think I'll be fine. So,
like he said, nothing but love for Dan. Shit, bro. No mention of Arsenal. This video didn't really give that much info to, like, it wasn't like a new breakthrough or whatever. It was just a little bit more info, and it's info from his perspective, mind you. And that leads me to, like, what is Arsenal gonna do? Is Arsenal gonna respond to this or not? Because see, I follow both channels. I actually started becoming a fan of Rocket League through Arsenal. And Retals, for me, I didn't even like Retals at first. It was an acquired taste for me. I didn't like his channel at first that much. But at the moment, I'm gonna be honest, I do prefer Retals' personality and content over Arsenal's. And one thing that I noticed is with Retals' content, Retals is not really afraid to talk about a lot of aspects of his life, which mean his opinions on players, his opinions on RCS, his opinion on his personal life, his teammates, anything of that. He shares it on his channel, which is something that Arsenal doesn't usually do on his channel. Usually Arsenal focuses on the games, and he's very entertaining in that way, but he's a very different content creator than Retals. But that I'm trying to say is that Arsenal is not usually a guy that dwells or covers this kind of stuff. But maybe because of the backlash and this whole spectacle that has been created, he's gonna have to address it because he's kind of looking like the bad guy. Mind you, in the eyes of like outsiders, maybe people on the inside know better. Maybe some people on the inside side with Arsenal, or maybe some people on the inside, they don't side with either of them because they know it's like way more complicated than just picking a side. Also, it would be interesting to hear from Daniel, although I'm wary of this. I would be wary of that, and I'll tell you why. And Daniel is pretty young. He's like 15, right? Or 16? No, I don't think he's even 16. He's probably 15. And he's so young, and he tends to have like a reserved personality. It would be a little weird if it was forced to give his opinion on this. But at the same time, he would probably have the most insight when it comes to this because he was a teammate to both of them. And I'm making this video as an SSG fan, okay? I'm not a journalist. You should take everything that I said with a grain of salt, make your own opinion of it. Like I said, I don't want to mislead people to think a certain way. But ideally, I also want people to look beyond one-sided narratives. Things are not as simple as they seem. Also, if you watch my bits, the previous bit, and if you watch this one to the end, I appreciate your view. Please consider subscribing because I'm a small channel and it helps me out. And I'm just doing this out of interest. And if it's something that is of your interest too, you can post it in the comments because the people commenting on this videos have been really helpful for me so far to hear another perspective or to hear more information about it that I may have missed. So I really appreciate these interactions that I'm having with people that are just as invested in this as I am. But we still don't know the full detail. We're just kind of, talking about it. It's really interesting to me. Yeah, I would appreciate it if you sub and commented on the videos. And with that said, that's all for me today. I'll see you guys later.